This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com. It's 12:02 a.m. Monday morning. Just getting back to Canada from Albany, New York, which is about 5.5, 6 hours drive. There was no snow there. There is snow here, and it's pretty cold here. A little bit colder than it is there, although it was pretty cold there. For wrestling news, there was not much this weekend. Nothing really trended in combat sports news. Devious says, great Enzo interview. Thank you. I did get an interview with Enzo at the Heroes Hideout Wrestlefest 1 convention today. I also interviewed Santino Marella, Vladimir Kozlov, ODB, Scott Casey, Cameron from Total Divas, the Road Dog, who works as a creative advisor for NXT, as well as Alicia Atout, who is going to make a big announcement today. She has signed with one of the television wrestling companies. I guess one thing I didn't know about Alicia, for all you guys that follow her, she was a fellow YouTuber. She's appeared for Impact and AEW pay-per-views as an announcer, but apparently she wasn't actually signed to AEW, and now she's signed with a television company. She's going to announce it. She told me where she's signed and has sworn me to secrecy, so I'm not going to say it. The Hillbilly Jim interview was great. It was one of my favorite interviews ever, and he is a great guy. I actually counted last night, and I've done approximately 130 shoot interviews, and not one wrestler has ever bought me dinner until Hillbilly Jim. He bought me dinner last night after the interview, and he's a great guy. And like I'm telling you, most of these guys, and I respect all of them, but most of them will want me to buy them dinner before, after, will try and convince me to buy them drinks. So I thought that Jim was just a first-class guy, and he gave me like really smart advice, not only for wrestling, but for life advice all day yesterday and today. I was hanging out with him today too. Great guy, and there will be a part 2 for Hillbilly Jim. In wrestling news, according to Dave Meltzer, CM Punk returning to a WWE show. It's a show about WWE. Whether you want to say he's returning to a WWE program, okay, Fox is technically putting on the program, but it's about WWE, and WWE gave Fox their approval to hire CM Punk. So WWE approved of him being hired. So technically, he could have been announced at Survivor Series. He's going to be covering WWE news. So he actually could have appeared there, but no, they had him appear around midnight on a show that had 49,000 viewers the previous week. Dave Meltzer says he believes that the reason they may have scrambled and introduced Punk on Backstage this week, or I guess last week now, was because it had a 49,000 viewer rating the first week. So they want to try and get ratings up. Now, whether he'll be a sustainable, obviously this week he's going to have a good rating, but he didn't trend. As Enzo said when I interviewed him, when he showed up at a WWE event, it trended. So CM Punk returning did not trend. Lots of questions on here. Robert Bravo, the Prime Minister doesn't care about Canadians, only immigrants. Well, I don't know what that has to do with anything we're talking about here. Devious says CM Punk is going to fight the YouTuber Logan Paul. I don't think so, but I believe Logan Paul would probably beat him. Sweeney 32, how's Billy Graham doing? Well, you know, Billy Graham is actually good friends with Hillbilly Jim, and Jim told some good stories about Billy Graham. But Billy Graham has been posting on Facebook. He's been in the hospital, going through heart issues. He's still asking for GoFundMe. I'm going to try and get some type of phone interview with him. And I pray that he's still around in March when I return to Phoenix. I'm going to try and get something with him there. Finally, I did a live stream with Hillbilly Jim. And I do those to get some of your questions. I cut it down, but the initial live stream was over half an hour last night with Hillbilly Jim. Now, I do that with a cell phone because I don't know how to live stream with cameras with the equipment I have. So I do get comments and people mad at me that the audio isn't as good, but I write right in the description that it's a cell phone stream. The real video, the audio is filmed with real cameras. So I'm sorry to the people that love to bitch at me about these live streams, but it's the only way right now. I'm sure they're going to make better microphones on phones as time goes on and technology improves. But like right now, that's the only way to get live stream questions. And we had about 500 people watching that live. So most of it was likes. There was only a few dislikes and maybe a handful of idiot messages. And a few people did the super chat on the live stream last night. They pledged $2 each to help me pay for my shoot interviews. So they pledged $2 each time. And guess what? I definitely asked both of those questions. Some people commented on there, why didn't you ask my question? Well, I can't ask everyone's question, especially when you have 400 people on a live stream. But I didn't ask the questions that I'd already gone to detail in the 2 hour plus shoot interview. You guys obviously didn't see that yet. It's going to be on patreon.com/the Hannibal TV next week. And then next week, I'm also doing a full shoot with Bill Apter, Billy Jack Haynes, Snitsky, hopefully Shane Douglas, if we can work it out. So, and there's also who's coming up? Hopefully Juventud Guerrera in December, and maybe Virgil. Who knows? Let me know on here if you guys want me to do a Virgil shoot interview or not. I'll test it. Freck Northside said he's getting a t-shirt soon. Well, you should get this, the Hannibal TV sweater. They're very comfortable. They're warm, and you can wear a hood. Like everyone likes to complain about me wearing hoods. So yeah, Patrick's is Aftermania. Yeah, Aftermania next week. Any of those guys I just mentioned, if you have questions, suggestions for any of them, let me know. The Billy Jack Haynes one is going to be one of my toughest shoot interviews because I got to keep him on track. He tends to go into wild directions. So I'm going to get to work right now. I'll probably put up that Road Dogg clip next, and I'll try and get 2 or 3 of these short interviews I did today up before I go to sleep. And the next few days, I'm going to work on the Hillbilly interview. For my great Patreon subscribers, all 42 of you that pledge $1.99 a month. Imagine if I had 500 Patreon subscribers pledging $1,000 a month or 5,000. I could do that as my job if I had like even 5,000 Patreon subscribers. I'm a way off from that. But for the people that say, oh, do a Jesse Ventura interview, he's 5,000 American for 1 hour, 10,000 for 2 hours. So I got to save up a little bit before I can afford Jesse Ventura's. Eric Forter says, all petite wrestling quote of the year from RVD. I thought that was funny. Michael L says, what's the Ken Shamrock deal? I don't know. A fan sent that to me that he made a post. I believe he's taken it down since. He had some issue with me. All I got to say is I don't know what the hell he's really talking about. It seemed like he's trying to threaten me. It's like, if you want to fight me, book it, and I'll fight him MMA any day, no problem. But if he's like threatening me, like he's going to attack me if he sees me at a convention, well, there's one reason why I wouldn't want to do that, because I eventually want to live in the US. And if I get any type of criminal record by getting in a fight with Shamrock, especially a street fight where I could possibly rip out his eye, bite him or something like that, I may end up getting arrested and not be allowed back in the US. So if he actually wants to threaten me, and if you want to beat me up so bad because all I said, I didn't even say anything other than, why is Impact Wrestling using you as a dick grabber? You're a UFC Hall of Famer, you feuded with The Rock, Austin, and now you're grabbing dicks on Impact. Like, that's what I have the problem with, because I had a lot of respect for you. But I know for a fact, and I'm sure you MMA fans know that, would Dan Severn grab somebody's dick for a payoff? No. Would Don Fry do it? No. And both of those guys are wrestlers. So that's it. And here's the funny thing. He said in his thing, oh, you would never say that to my face. First of all, it wasn't an insult. I was insulting the TNA booking team of this moron, Don Callis, who couldn't even run a company for much more than a year when he tried to run it. No Holds Barred Wrestling is what it was called. But for some reason, Chris Jericho recommended him and Scott D'Amore to the Anthem people, and the Anthem people hired them on their recommendation. And now they're doing less than 3,000 viewers on Twitch. There's been no numbers released of Access, but their Pursuit numbers had been under 100,000. So it's a shitty company, really shitty company. Oh, there's the guy, Krillin876. There you go. Thanks for the $2. You know what? That all adds up. And $2 American is like $2.70 Canadian. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Krilling, and thanks everybody. I'm going to get to work here. Have a great night.